Okay, so we may need to do a wee bit of translation along the way because there's a lot of you guys who'll be watching us in America and you probably haven't a clue what these sort South Yorkshire and Irish men are talking about. But should we give it a lash anyway and we can both translate for each other? Isn't that right, guys?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
So I don't know why. Oh, there we go. There's a new zoom out. So normally it's a big orange button. So it wasn't an orange button, it was a blue button. And I was pressing saying, where are people? And so I can see they're coming in now. So you're all very welcome. Come on in. You better say hello again, guys, because they weren't in that.
Hello again. Hi, everyone.
So it's a deep honor. Most of you know Brad already from Business Success Academy and he being the marketing supremo that he is online. But tonight we're joined by his dad, Stan. And we're going to go back in time because we have something in common, Stan, you and I, because we're both second generation in our businesses, right? And we both have our sons in our business and we both work with our wives and we both have other relations that work in our business as well. You've got Ruth as well as, and I'm the same. I think there's 8 blood relatives in my business. So we've a lot in common. So we have a few stories to tell.
We all go on holiday as well together. So,
that's good.
Yeah. So we vacation together. And up to last month, Brad and Ruth were actually living in our house. So
so it was.
So not only working together, living together, holidaying together.
Yeah. Interesting family dynamic.
Well, that's a good sign, and it can be challenging sometimes too. But before we get into some of the detail, can you just tell the story for our Americans about how, Brad, you don't get your dad to do any of the talking in America? So you want to share that story? So you're in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah. So we're in LA. This was 15 years ago.
Possibly, yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And my mother was unwell. So me and my dad went down to the concierge to ask the woman behind the counter for the contact number for a doctor. And my dad was doing all the talking. He said, excuse me, can you have the phone number for a doctor? And she went, yeah, sure, how long? And my dad went, no, a phone number for the doctor. And she went, you want to book an extra week? And he went, no, I want to speak to a doctor. 2 weeks?
It actually was a Mexican hotel. It was near Disney in Anaheim. So it was like a Mexican themed hotel, and most of the staff were obviously Mexican based. So no idea of what I was talking about.
Yeah, they didn't have no one can understand about best of times.
So when we always in States, we go to the States quite a lot, I never talk. I just keep really quiet.
Well, we can, if we need to, we can translate here. No problem at all. Brad can translate for you, but you'll be fine. I know you will. But guys, if you have any questions, right, you have a wealth of experience when it comes to running a photography business here. And so Stan's going to share with us a photograph that was taken before when they started out their business. So this is not Stan and Brad. This is Stan and Brad's granddad.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
So guys, what year was that?
This is 1977, I think. Just before we registered the business on the 1st of November 78. So these aren't our cameras actually. My dad was a press photographer for a local newspaper, and these actually belong to Barnsley Chronicle. We just borrowed them to do a bit of a photo shoot and a bit of a thing that we got. We got expensive cameras. Do you know what I mean? But so bit of a lie there, I suppose. But yeah, so 1977. Yeah.
So that's, if I do the maths right, that's 43 years in business. Is that right? Have I done that right?
Yeah.
Wow, 43 years in business. You've seen a lot, Stan.
Seen lots of things change. Yeah, hell of a lot of things change in business. Yeah.
So can we talk about some of those changes? So when you started out 43 years ago, just tell us about what it was like to run a photography business. And then if we can bring that into then, what's the biggest change you've seen today compared to then?
So when we first started, we worked from home. I actually worked from home. I actually worked in Sheffield in an office. So my dad was a press photographer. and he'd been anchoring me for years to actually take pictures. And I never picked a camera up. I was surrounded with cameras all my life. Never ever picked a camera up. I ended up in a job in Sheffield at 17 that I hated instantly, basically. And I needed to get out. I needed a close. I needed to find an escape from it. And it was my dad, basically. He learnt me the tools to take pictures and gave me the knowledge. And I started working with him. I started actually taking pictures, basically at lots of presentations, football presentations, and pigeon flying presentations, and darts, and working men's clubs, and pubs, and that's how I started, basically. And then from that, we worked from home, and we got to the studio in '82. So the changes then. I mean, we were shooting on film, shooting 35mm. Filming them days were very poor. You've got black and white. You got 400 ASA black and white, I think. 100 ASA colour. 400 low light. We were shooting mainly weddings in them days. I was doing odd portraits, so we were shooting mainly weddings on 35mm. Shooting 24 pictures on a wedding. It used to take me an hour to shoot a wedding. So if I'd done a 3 o'clock wedding, by 4:30 or back home, finished. And we used to shoot mainly 24 images, maybe sometimes 36 on shooting weddings. I mean, that's completely changed completely now. If you're a wedding photographer, because you're shooting thousands of pictures on the wedding now, and it's all day. So that's how we started. On the studio with no marketing, literally no marketing. I opened a town centre studio, signed a lease with no marketing. And it was quite big. It was probably about 1,500 square foot studio. It was a big studio in town centre, and just basically put lots of wedding pictures in and family portraits, and just waited for customers to come.
And what happened? Did they come? Did the footfall?
Yeah, when we worked from home, obviously we're shooting weddings, so we used to visit every customer. So we'd visit customers if they applied for a wedding. It was all done by phone in them days. There were no social media. So we go to brides' homes, and we used to book virtually 99% of the weddings that we actually went to see at home. We actually booked the wedding. I was charging £45 for a wedding in them days, roughly, maybe 60. I still see some of wedding albums because we still get customers that I've shot weddings for coming back into the studio now. And I always ask them to bring the wedding album if I've shot it, and it's great to see old pictures, images, albums. So
yeah, up until earlier this year, late last year, we still had all the negative files from every wedding or portrait my dad and my grandfather ever shot. It was in our cellar downstairs. So yeah, it was just basically floor to ceiling of negative files and all those old images.
And did you digitize them, Brad, or did you?
No. We got. I mean, when we're shooting lots of weddings, we would shoot 8 weddings on a Saturday as a business. We would shoot. Obviously, I didn't shoot them personally. We used to employ part-timers to come and shoot. We'd shoot 8 weddings on a Saturday, regularly through June, July, August. So we're shooting a lot of weddings in 80s. So we've got thousands of wedding plans.
And Stan, for the younger photographers who were not in the analog era, you had 1 roll or 2 rolls. You had 24, 36 shots. That was it, right? You had to get it right in camera first time.
The thing is that I suppose in them days you had to make sure the image was spot on. It was composed. It was exposed correctly. You to try and minimize blinks, and because you've got 24 pictures, and that were it. And it were always daunting because obviously you filmed, then on Monday morning you sent them films off to the lab, and then you had to wait Friday before you got to look at them. So yeah, it was different. It was interesting. I wouldn't do it now. I'd be petrified to do that now, literally. I'd be petrified to shoot a wedding now anyway. But
So have you any horror?
Did we?
Have you any horror stories of where the wedding just went wrong on the photography, or did it always work?
Not really with photography. Luckily, we did really well with weddings. We never lost a wedding. I did shoot with a Pentax. I forget, MX or ME, which I can really, I used to shoot a lot with Pentax, Nikon cameras. And I remember buying a new MX, which was like the singing, dancing camera. And that let me down. I lost a number of images underexposed. Well, in them days, you'll know if it's underexposed, image, a negative, you're going to really struggle to get a print. So I just lost that one. I've had weddings, I've done weddings and groom's not turned up. That was interesting, very interesting. So I've done that, yeah. But yeah, obviously shooting weddings, you're up against weather. It's like shooting weddings now, isn't it? You're up against weather.
So you're obviously a great believer in our industry and the photography industry. If you brought your son, the third generation, Brad, into the business.
It's a business, yeah. Well, to be honest, I think he fell into it in a way, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he'd gone to college and he did well in A-levels, didn't want to go to university. I think Shelley wanted, that's my wife, his mum, she wanted him to go to university. She wanted him out of house and university. So, but he didn't want to go, fair play to me. He didn't want to go. He came to work in studio. It took him a long time to find out where he wanted to fit into the studio. It took him a long time. Once he found that position, right, we've been in debt to that ever since, because without him, me and Shelley won't be working, I want to throw. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that.
So why is that? Did the whole area of marketing and business change?
I think it has altered. In the last few years, it has altered. Marketing definitely altered. And obviously, Brad does all his marketing on Facebook and everything else, and it has altered. The dynamic has altered tremendously. And without Brad, me and Shell might have, I don't know, we might have retired. Possibly would have retired. Yeah.
He might have an easier life.
Might have an easier life, yeah. But, you know what I mean? So, but that's fair play to him, because he, you know, like my dad with me, he gave me the tools to take pictures, and I just took that extra step. You know what I mean? We what I did and whatever, and he's just done the same with us. He's looked at it. He's looked at the old kick the model and where he could fit in and what he could do, and he's just took it by ours and ran with it, which is great.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
So Brad, question for you. Did you always want to work in the family business? Was that something that from a young age that you wanted, but your mum was sort of, because my mum was like that. My mum said, Ronan, go get a job in the civil service. Don't come near this business. You know, I want you to go to university and get into the civil service. That's where you should go. But I always wanted to be in the business. Were you like that, or did it come about differently for you?
No, I was the opposite. I didn't want to be in the business, because at the time I was conscious of what everyone else would think of me, and that I'd taken the easy option. When in reality, it's by far the harder option. Going and working in a family business. So when I was at school and even at college, when I'd be getting like careers advice or like writing a UCAS statement to go to university, people would say, well, why don't you go in the business? I'm like, oh no, I 100% don't want to be a photographer. You know, I really don't want to be a photographer. I guess I'm not, because I don't take any pictures. I just, you know, handle all the marketing and all the business side of things. So like my dad said, I fell into the business because I wanted to take a year out before I went to university. And then my dad gave me, at the time, like 3 days a week, right? 4 days a week. Yeah, it was hardly a job. And I dossed around with that for about a year until I kind of found my feet and found what I liked and enjoyed doing, and took it from there.
So can you take a proper photograph, Brad, or is it something you've never gone near? You've never gone near the cameras. You've concentrated on the business
I'm in the
side.
studio with my dad, so I can work a camera, and I can take some shots. You know, in the early years, I was in the studio quite a bit with my dad.
Yeah, you used to some sessions.
Yes, so at the time we were doing a lot of cherubs, so I'd shoot some of the cherub sessions. Yeah, so I've shot them. I can do it. It was never something that I really got the bug for.
So how did you get the marketing bug then, that you love the marketing and the business side? How did that come about? Was that something you fell into, or?
Well, when I was at college, I did business. So I had an A level in applied business, and I wrote an entire, my last piece of coursework was,
Well, I'm bored now.
no, it was on setting a new business up. So I could set my own business up. So I decided to set a photography studio up, and then I had to write a business plan out for it. I got nearly like 100% marks in it. Because I just asked my dad for his old business plan. And that kind of gave me the idea behind, marketing and how to build and grow a business. At the time, marketing was like our big problem. We were using Groupon a lot, and that was just a big roller coaster. And we were really at the mercy of Groupon being like, yeah, you can go live this month, or no, you can't. And we'd have busy months, we'd have quiet months. So it was just like the biggest problem in the business that I felt like I needed to solve. And Facebook, I pestered you for months if I could run a Facebook ad.
Yeah, you did,
Yeah, months.
And then you wanted money. You wanted
yeah.
to spend money. Spend money. So it's all like spend money. So like, okay, what you want to spend money on? Yeah.
Well, we were talking to Janine the other day, because in Ireland we say, if you're from Cavan, you're tighter with your money than other people in other parts of the world. So Brad was explaining to us that where you guys are from, Yorkshire, South Yorkshire is the same.
Yeah,
so we're asking Janine, is there an equivalent in the US, which she wasn't aware of one? So if anyone from the US is joining us knows if there is, where you're more careful with your money than other places, and that you're from a certain place. So we say, that's a mean Cavan guy. He's from Cavan. So in Yorkshire, they say something similar about these guys. So Brad coming to his dad looking to spend money on Facebook so Zuck can buy a new T-shirt was a challenge, right?
Yeah, the serious challenge. Especially in some of those early days, I'd spend my own money on adverts, and if it went well, I'd tell my dad, and then he'd give me the money back. If he, I wouldn't say anything. But
love it.
Yeah, because there were a period that every time he spoke to me, he wanted money.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Every how much was the?
That was it. Yeah, that was saying. It still is now, though, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
How much? Yeah, I want to do this. How much?
Yeah.
So Stan, when did you discover that Brad has this sussed? When did you discover that Brad could bring in so many bookings?
It dawned on me and Shell over a period of time regarding marketing and Facebook, because as he said, we relied on Groupons from 2008, from the financial crash 2008, and we bought lots of leads in from different organisations, Baby Lee's and things like that. And it just dawned on us really that, from doing these adverts, I'm doing adverts on Facebook and social media and getting your name out there, getting your image and your brand. It worked, and it's become the norm. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't tell you exactly when it was. Probably when he asked me for a lot of money one month as a budget. Yeah, I think the budget thing what Biggie's done. Yeah. So yeah. And then me and Shell just left him to it. We just left him to it really, and he got on. We wouldn't shoot him, yeah. And diary was full. So we didn't really have to do anything. We got a full diary, a set of clients coming in, and we just left him to it. And now it's just evolved from that really. It's a bit different now. It's a bit more owned in and a bit more. It's a bit more. I'm sort of. It's a bit more owned in now. It's a bit more focused.
Yeah.
So
were you Were you surprised, Stan, when Brad, with his online marketing, managed to take seasonality out of your business, that you were able to fill your
Oh,
diary,
yeah.
your
I
calendar?
mean, yeah, the thing is that, I mean, we're all in the season. All photographers run, you know, you're obviously busy at Christmas, and then obviously January, February, it's flat. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, we're pretty steady all year. You know, we've got a steady stream. We don't really do a Christmas promotion as such, do we? No,
No,
we just,
we peak November,
yeah.
December, but
Yeah.
that's like just a natural Christmas peak.
Yeah, but so now we're pretty steady all year. Excuse me. So, which is great, which is helpful because it's great for cash flow. It's great for our business and things like that. So it's really good.
So talk to me about the transition into boudoir then, because boudoir is a big part of your business. So
Boudoir.
how did that all come about?
How did boudoir start with us? Oh, we used to, me and Shelley, many years ago, used to do makeovers, like they call them cover girls. And a girl in Lake District started it. I forget her name. It's a long time, early 90s. And it was just basically shot on film, no digital. And it was done with filters, and Shelley used to do makeup. I'd put like a picture filter, which we used as an enlarger filter, and it just fogged the image. It was just like a huge cloud, and so it was softened the image. We started with them, and then it's just evolved. We've always done bits of boudoir, but it was 2011. We went to I took Shelley to a seminar because I realised that we could really do it at boudoir. We got studio to do it, and we went to a seminar by Shane.
Oh, I can't
I forget.
remember.
So and when she saw it, it was like a light bulb moment, really, literally. So we invested in a blow bed, and we actually used to use a studio upstairs. So we invested in false walls basically, so that we could convert the studio upstairs into a bedroom. We've got walls on wheels, and we could make a bedroom, blow bed. 2011 we started, and that's how it evolved. And then we've got 1,000 square foot empty downstairs, not in basement. It's down a level, and then we converted that into a purpose-built boudoir studio, and now it's what is it? I don't know. What's the percentage of our business?
75%.
Yeah, so it's a huge thing. Yeah, for business, and it's great. It is fantastic. Cheryl will tell you more about boudoir than I, because she's like Mrs. Boudoir, basically.
So just to understand some of the roles then, so you got into boudoir. So do you still do most of photography, Stan?
Flash still shoot.
Yes.
Yeah, Shelley does all styling. So how we work is that Shelley is the stylist basically. So when girls come in, she takes them down into makeup. She stays with them. She chats to them. Before they come in, she finds lots of information out as to what to do with the beam, what's happening with their lives, and things like that. And then she'll spend an hour with them while they have the makeup done, and then an hour in studio. So in the studio, basically, I'm just tweaking lights and pressing shutter, basically. But she's posing them. She's setting them all up, creating images. Obviously, we've got a set images that we shoot, but obviously you can't do that with every girl. Every girl's different. So we've got a range of images that we shoot, and then we shoot for about an hour, and then Shelley does a big reveal after we've done shoot. So it's about a 3-hour session, 3.5-hour session that we shoot.
And do you do the reveal after the shoot, or do they come back another day for that?
I mean, to be honest, the lockdowns helped us basically, because we used to book everybody back to do the reveal. So we boudoir, we've done the reveal straight after, and it's been fantastic. It's been really good. Obviously, they're seeing the images straight away. They're not coming back. We used to have a lot of problems with people not turning up, not coming back, altered appointments. So it's worked. It's really worked for us. So lockdowns, obviously, again, lockdowns, I mean, just look at our business, how we've tweaked a lot. We're not shooting as much. And it's really good. And sales are fantastic. At the minute,
Yeah, so it's all going really good.
Yeah. So it's good.
That's
That was
brilliant.
transition. So from 2011, we've been shooting in the Zgoda studio, which is about 1,000 square foot.
So Brad, now behave yourself. Talk to us about Ruth.
Yeah. So when did Ruth join the business?
Ruth were at university.
Yeah, 2016.
So Ruth were at university, came to work part-time.
Yeah.
So she came to work part-time with us.
We had a staff member in the business, Gavin, from when he was 16 until he was 30. So he left. He handled all our. We did all our own digital editing in-house, and Gavin handled it all. But my dad would take all the pictures. Gavin would do all the post-production, editing, getting orders ready, everything like that. So he left. He got married and left and moved down to Norwich. So we needed somebody part-time in the business. We're quite funny with hiring. We're a family business, so like it's it's hard to get the right people in, because they'll just be around us all the time. So a lot of people can't. It's not like a normal hire. You're being surrounded by the same family all the time.
It's hard, though. It's hard to get a person in sometimes that's gonna.
They've got no one to vent to.
Yeah, because we're all family. You know what I mean? So it is hard for other people to come into our business.
Yeah.
Initially, I think it must be a bit daunting because we're a unit. We are a unit. So well, anyhow.
Yeah. So then, thank you. and then I asked her to come in. So she started working for us part time. She got a degree. She did a degree in creative media.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 years since she got a degree.
And then just came to work at the studio full time. So she handles all the post production, client happiness. She's in the studio shooting. So the idea is that Ruth will be doing all our newborns and some of our family shoots, and my dad will be doing the good one.
So did you know Ruth, Brad, before she started working in the business?
Yeah, I did, yeah. So I've known Ruth since college.
Okay.
So I've 8 years, 9 years, 9 years. I've been with Ruth. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. So I've been with her 9 years. So I've known her a long time.
So tell me this then, because I work with my significant other as well, obviously, right? She's our financial controller, Susan. I don't know why she puts up with me, but she does. So tell me this, what's your secret to working with your significant other?
Me?
What's your secret? How do you manage to do that?
Ron, it's just evolved, I think, really. I mean, me and Shelley, really, on a normal working day in studio, the only time I see Shelley is when we're in Boudoir. The rest of the time, I never see her. Technically, because either I'm shooting a portrait upstairs, or I'm in office, or whatever. So the only time me and Shelley get together is actually for the hour that we're shooting the Boudoir, which at the minute is 2-3 a day. Yeah. So sometimes I'll never see her. Technically,
the answer is minimum contact.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, so that's the answer. So yeah, it is. But it's just normal.
Yeah, no, it's become normal now.
It's just the norm. And obviously, I work with mum and dad. You know what I mean? A great relationship with mum and dad. And and it's just been norm. You know what I mean? It's just been the normal thing. Lots of customers come in our studio. Lots of customers come in and you work with your husband, or you work with your wife. And, I've come to that. You know what I mean? And like, oh no, I wouldn't do that. No way, I wouldn't do that. And then we get lots of customers in when we say that we're a family business and that we all work in business. It adds a lot of kudos. It's a great plus thing. Yeah. I think a really great plus thing for us as a business that we are a family business. It's a great thing. People look at it and think, oh, that's fantastic.
So Brad, what about yourself and Ruth? Same thing, or have you a different way to make it?
I mean, same thing now with me being at home all the time. But no, it was it was never really difficult. That the hard thing is is that with us all being family and us all having really distinct roles, we really struggle with being like with like having a main authority figure, you know, with talking to each other and making decisions, because you know we're all kind of in charge in our own way.
We're all
So
alpha males, aren't we?
yeah, so it can be fun. It's just you know, pick your battles.
So how do you come to decisions then? Do you have a formal directors meeting that you all sit around the table and say, this is what we're going to do in the next quarter, and then you review it at the end? Or is it more, let's have some breakfast together and we have a breakfast and a chat about it and say, yeah, let's try that?
All of both.
Really?
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, until a month ago, I was living at home. We talk work at home. You know, on a Saturday, we'd go out and pick a curry up, take it home, and we sit around the table, we talk about that week.
Yeah.
So, you know, highs and lows of the week,
Yeah.
what's happening next week, what we need to do.
Yeah.
Having a work meeting in the studio is always really hard. I mean, we're trying to get a stand-up at the minute, which is quite easy because I can do it on Teams or on FaceTime now and catch from that in the morning.
Yeah, so we're doing it now. We're doing that on Teams, aren't we?
Yeah, when we're in the studio, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, especially pre-COVID when, you know, we were booking 100+ sessions in a month and we had customers in all the time. We had customers in for appointments and to pick orders up or in to chat with us. So we're all like this.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier now.
Yeah, so being at home, we definitely had most of our work meetings at home. And then I'd sit down and kind of build a plan for the business for the week, month, quarter, year. And I'd sit everyone down separately and have it separately and then have a group meeting as well.
Shelley's probably the hardest one to
get on side.
Yeah, to keep in line. Yeah, so yeah.
So tell me this, is it a democracy then? Is it sort of, if there's a majority in the room want to go a certain route, that's how you go, or does it work differently than that?
We always find common ground, don't we?
Yeah,
we always
find common ground.
We always look at it, any problems or whatever, and we always find common ground. We always try to do best practice. Yeah, basically.
And I suppose it is quite politically, because when I have an idea and I need everybody on board for it, I'll go to everybody individually and drum up support and get them on side.
Yeah, I mean,
and then we'd sit down together and then we'd hash it out. And then we'd kind of build a plan around it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's only Brad really that comes through. We all just follow Brad. I just follow Brad basically. So he comes up with all ideas. I just say how much, yeah, and then that's it. And then we just go convince Shelley. Yeah,
that's going well.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So Brad, you should have been a politician. So you socialize your ideas first before you say, let's do this.
Exactly. If I can try and make my idea seem like my dad's idea, then I've won.
well, it's funny you should say that, Brad, because I'm the same as you in that I'm second generation. I'm like Stan, but now I'm like you, or was like you a number of years ago before Dad retired. But I used to have to do that. So I used to sort of plant the seed with Mum, knowing that when they go home they would be having a conversation. And then Dad would come in a week later, he'd say, I have this great idea, Ronan. And I'd go, yeah, what is it, Dad? Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. So it sounds something similar.
It is very, very similar. It is, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Very good, very good. So Stan, tell me then, you see a lot of other photography businesses, right? And you talk to a lot of other photography owners. What do you see as their biggest challenge right now?
Right now? Oh, goodness me. I think right now is obviously trying to get the right, as a client thing, you need to try and get the right clients into your studio. That's the biggest challenge. That's the number one key, I would think. Get your right clients into your studio. You've got a chance then to sell and earn money. I think it is tough. I mean, it's going to get tougher as well. So but I see that as and everybody is now looking to get the right clients in and looking for that magic magic wand, I suppose, aren't we? I think, you know, everybody's looking for that magic wand and looking for that. So that's the challenge. I think that's the challenge that we face. That's the challenge that we look on now, and that's what we try to get the right clients into our studio.
And do you think your focus on understanding the need to have an ideal client avatar or an ideal client, was that something that was always in your business, or has that sort of strategy evolved over time?
Yeah, that's definitely evolved. Yeah. So that has evolved. We know the right boudoir client that we need into our business. Yeah. So we've got that house of pretty stuff. We know what client we want in the boudoir studio. More than what we've got, we as other mix. With families and newborns. So, but we are working on that. We're actually working on fine tuning how we get clients and interviewing, and well, not interviewing them, but obviously talking to them. Yeah. It is like an interview, but in a nice way. Yeah. So yeah. So that's the main challenge. I think that's the challenge, that getting the right client.
So you see then photographers having to be more of surgeons than GPs, if I take a medical analogy. So rather than being regarding everyone as your client and you're looking after everybody, that you have to identify the 1 or 2 or 3 niches that you're going to concentrate on.
I think that's what we're looking at doing anyway. That's definitely how we are going to approach these next few years. Definitely, yeah. Because you know, it's going to get a bit tough. It's going to get a lot tough. Well, he keeps saying it's going to get tough, so I just listen to Brad. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. With boudoir, we've got it. We've virtually got it with boudoir. I think we're not far off with boudoir. Yeah.
So Brad, why do you think it's going to get tougher? What's going to get tougher?
Just the economic impact of Corona, and just being entire countries put on hold. So you know, in the UK, especially with furlough, when furlough comes to end, October 31st, but that may get extended. Eventually, when that comes to an end, you know, I really see a lot of companies. It's happening already. You know, companies declaring bankruptcy and you know, doing mass staff cuts. But by things to get harder is just you know, kind of global economic recession. But we did well throughout the last one. Although I keep saying like things are going to get tougher, the full plan for the business is still to turn over more money than it did previously.
It is, you know, and we're on it now, aren't we?
Yes, July and August we turned over more than we did last year. You know, our first full months after lockdown, after coming out and going back to work, and we're already on. You know, or turning over.
I think July, August have been records actually. So July, August have been record months.
Yeah, so we're doing well. It's just keeping that ball rolling, and then in the future, when we probably have less clients to pick from, it's just make sure we get the right ones, and just an increase in marketing spend. You know, but I'm more than, you know, we've already had that conversation.
Yeah, so
we know our booking costs might double or even triple in some cases.
Yeah, so
as long as we hit targets with everything else, we're fine.
So we're expecting to spend more money on marketing.
Yeah,
we've already said that we're going to spend more money on marketing, which, because we know it's going to cost us more money to get that client in. But,
so you obviously have a plan then to try and increase what that client spends if you're going to spend more on marketing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So Brad, as the non-photographer, and you see a lot of photography businesses out there, you know, if I'm a photographer and I'm in that stage and I know, you know, harder times are coming, so I've got to really be able to stand out here. What's your core piece of advice that you would say that you need to focus on, apart from being a really good photographer?
Know your marketing. You know, take control and have control of your own marketing. I mean, since I've been doing it, we've had consistent year-on-year growth in the business. That's just down to looking at the diary, thinking, right, how many sessions do I need? Let's create an advert to that. Let's write some copy. Let's design a landing page, a funnel, and get it out and get those clients in. So it's just that level of control. And people need it now more than ever. You know, when my dad was like in the business years ago, like marketing was a lot easier. You know, you'd buy data.
What was easier?
Well, no, different.
Oh, different.
It was
Yeah.
different. You know,
Yeah.
you'd buy a lot of data. I mean, like we did really well from data years ago.
We did okay.
You know, and doing other things and just getting a lot more organic traffic into the studio. Like now that doesn't happen. You know, so yeah, just get control of marketing and learn how to do it.
You need to know your numbers as well, don't you? You need to know your numbers, really. You need to know how much it's costing, how much it costs to run your studio, how much it's going to cost you to own that. Or if you're working from home, whatever.
Yeah.
You need to know your numbers. You need to know your break-even points. You need to know what everything's costing, and so that's a big thing as well.
Yeah, well, in first, know your numbers, then marketing.
Yeah.
because if you're going into marketing blind,
Yeah.
then you'll have no idea if it's been a success or not.
So it's important to know your numbers.
Yeah. The key thing a lot of people forget about marketing is that it's for a profit. You know, you have to make a profit at the end of it. It's pointless spending £1,000 to only make 900. You need to make money from it.
To be honest, Ron, when we first started, I just remember this. The main marketing thing that we used to have. Can you remember Yellow Pages? Did you have
Yes.
Yellow Pages in Ireland? Yeah.
We did.
That was the main marketing tool for photographers, and more for most businesses in the UK. And you used to spend half a year designing this fantastic advert to go in Yellow Pages, and then you used to then guess at how much they wanted to charge you for this advert for a year, and then you used to have to pay for it in your quietest month in February. Yeah. So that was your marketing, or Yellow Pages. And spending 400 or 500 quid on an advert. So happy days.
So Brad, we regard you in BSA as the marketing supremo when it comes to funnels. So for those who don't know what funnels are, can you just tell people what a marketing funnel is and how it works and how you use it in your business?
Yes. So a funnel is just basically a way to take a customer from not having any idea who you are, or that they want even a photography session, like 95% of the time, into knowing who you are as a business, getting to know you, getting to like you, getting to trust you, and taking them all through that experience until they either do something, take an action that you want, either give you their email address, give you their contact number, purchase a voucher online, purchase a session, or even book in. So it's taking them from blissfully unaware of who you are to being a customer and then a fan of your business. It's just go on, sorry.
So how is that different to, you hear a lot of marketing experts in our industry and others talking about, having the perfect website and making sure your SEO is good and blog every single day and all that. What's your view of that versus what you've just discussed? Because they sound completely different to me.
I mean, branding is important, but only to a certain extent. You can take it to the nth level, and I know a load of photographers that take it to the maximum. And in reality, when you sit back and you actually calculate how much time, money, and effort you've spent into all those branding efforts, and what you've got out of it at the end, it's negligible. It's a lot of the times it can be pointless doing it. But sometimes they're quite fun exercises. People often, I know a lot of photographers that during lockdown, they all redid the websites. When in reality, if they'd learned funnels and learned how to write ad copy, then they'd have already had sessions booked in. They'd already had a full diary going back into work. It's about being proactive instead of reactive. In a sense.
You mentioned that with your funnels, you're attracting clients when they're, I think you used the word blissfully unaware, so they're not aware that they even need your service. While if I do my SEO and all that, I'm trying to increase my Google ranking. Yeah. So when someone's searching they're already aware they need you. There's a subtle difference there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a big one, because when you use the marketing funnel, you're going after people who generally are in an emotional state of mind. They have no idea that they need your service. So when your advert pops up in front of them and it interrupts them, you can take them on a journey that you craft. You can write your advert copy so it tells a story that they resonate with. you get them to click through, you get them to click through that entire process. Whereas if they're already in that sense that they want a photographer, a lot of the times that they're in like a consideration phase where it's all logical. So a lot of the times, like 80% of the time of every customer that comes through our SEO or comes through our website or phones the studio direct, they're price checking. They're in that logical frame of mind where I want a photographer, I want to find out how much this is. You know, so they'll phone you, they'll say, how much are digital files on a disc? You know, we'll say we don't do them. You know, they'll say, all right, and hang the phone up. They'll say how much our frames are, we'll tell them, and they'll say how much, and then I'll put the phone down. So it's attracting people in an emotional state of mind that then you can educate them into who you are, your business, your prices, what you expect of them, what they actually expect from you. It works out 1,000 times better.
And it does work, Ronan, because we obviously thought we always have a laughing studio in Boudoir with girls and whatnot, and it does work. A lot of girls will say, "Yeah, it just popped up on my Facebook. Never thought about doing this. It just popped up on my Facebook." And I'm just thinking, yeah, that's Bradley there, look, yeah, it's popped up on his Facebook. And it does work. It does work for us. Yeah, it does work. So a lot of people say, yeah, it popped up on Facebook.
So you're bringing people into your world at a really early stage before they even realize they need it, and then they're not price checking and stuff. But you obviously then must have a lot of questions, Brad and Stan. So when you bring them into your world, is there a conversation that happens on the phone before they come into the studio, and how does all that work?
Yeah, so our phone conversations like are probably the most important factor of our business at the minute. Apart from actually getting the client in and shooting them, speaking to them is really, really important. So we always like to make sure that we have multiple conversations with any client before they come into the studio. We quote them before they come in, so they know what to expect from us. So we're handling all those expectations, and we're answering all those questions with them. Especially with the way I market as well. We film a load of videos. Every question we get asked, I've wrote out, we filmed the video on it, so that when they fill their form out, they've got a whole catalogue of videos to go through. We have a boudoir group that we try and funnel everybody into, so that we have very little interaction in the group. It's mostly just other women. So a lot of the times they'll post saying they've got an appointment booked in, but they don't know what to bring with them. And then all the other women are talking to them about it, or we get women posting saying they really want to come, but they're too nervous and they're too scared, and then everyone's there, fighting our corner for us and, saying how wonderful we are, and that they definitely should do it. So it's a great way to, it's fantastic social proof that we're not saying, because social proof is far better when it comes from somebody else. When it's a recommendation from, like a friend or another person that's not in business.
So they're actually selling. They actually sell for us.
They're doing the hard bit for us. They're building that know, like, and trust.
And Shelley's fantastic on phone.
Yeah.
So when Shelley phones up, customers and clients, she's fantastic on phone. She can spend 45 minutes chatting and talking to them, and finding things out and stuff like that. So it's really good.
So I think what you're saying to me is you're a marketing and sales engine, right? So Brad, you're generating all these leads and people who aren't even aware they want a boudoir shoot using your Facebook and your funnels. You bring them into your world early. You bring them into your world on the phone then with Shelley, who's having a wonderful conversation with them. And then, but everyone is also put into a Facebook group where all the women in there are sharing their thoughts and their experiences. And so new people coming in there see other women talking about what a wonderful experience, how they feel more empowered, how they feel better about themselves, how they respect themselves more as a result of this. And that then helps sell to people who are a bit unsure.
Yeah, it does immensely. Yeah, it does immensely. And obviously people, we get obviously girls that are coming in that have been looking on that Facebook group for 2 years. A long time to build up that courage to pick up that phone or whatever Facebook to contact us to come in. So, and it does work. It's fantastic. It is good.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, Stan, because there was research done a couple of months ago on when do people buy.
Yeah.
So they did it. So every lead you generate, 50% will buy at some stage and 50% will never buy. You know, if you gave them a red Ferrari for free, they'd want a black one. Yeah. So we all know those. But the 50% who will buy at some stage, only 15% of those will buy now. And the other 85% won't buy between 3 months and 2 years. So it's interesting you should say that about the 2 years for the boudoir.
It's true because obviously we only taught it girls and it's true. They also have been looking at doing this for a long time. My friend's done this or whatever, and it is true. It's true. It's really true. So obviously, your marketing cost is an ongoing thing. You market now, but it could be 2 years before
you get that client in.
We get that client in.
Yeah.
Right. So it is a journey. It is a journey to do it. You've just got to keep doing it. And then it becomes, a bit of a roller coaster, and it just carries on.
So, Brad, the Facebook group, then, is that a real good nurturing tool that you would recommend to photographers? And does it apply to every genre, or does it have to be like specific, like boudoir, or how would you approach that?
Boudoir makes it slightly easier for us because it's a boudoir group centered around empowering women, encouraging them to share stories and triumphs. But realistically, you can create that group for anything. Yeah, you could create it for any niche you want. I'd create it around the niche, not the studio. It has to be around a niche. And it has to be around like a mission or a goal that you want to achieve. For us, it's about empowering women. So we encourage people to go in there and share things. But that's the reason people join, because they want to be part of that community spirit. Community is a big thing. People like being around people that are like them. So yeah, you can do it. You can do it for new mums and newborns. Yeah, you can do it for families. You just have to think of that angle, that goal you want to help achieve.
Very good. Very good. I love that. So talk to us then about Shelley and the sales. So Shelley looks after talking to all the clients, bringing them in. You already said that she looks after posing them and making sure that they're comfortable and all that piece. So does she handle the sort of client interaction from when before they even come into the business? She's forming that relationship. And then she's doing their hair and makeup and talking to them before they enter the studio, and then she's doing the posing. Is that right? Have I got that piece of the jigsaw right?
We've got a makeup artist. So we've got a makeup artist who's there to makeup, but Shelley will be sat with them all the time.
Yeah, if she's free,
she'll see them all the time.
Then she'll do them taken through that entire journey.
Basically, all she does is talk, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
So essentially.
Yeah, it's just a chat all day.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, she does, and she does that, and obviously then she'll do all posing, and she'll.
No, I'm just gonna say, like, my dad's right. She'll just interact and chat with people all day, but that's like the hardest and like one of the most important jobs.
It's a vital job.
Like taking pictures is really low down in that list of what we need to make sure we nail. Get right.
Placing lights and pressing shutter. Yeah. So that's way down pecking order, I think.
So if I'm a boudoir photographer, so you guys are providing the service to a lot of women, what do they buy? I know they buy the experience, and it's all about the relationship and feeling empowered and all that. But what do they tend to turn that into a particular type of product, or how does that work?
Yeah, 3XM folio boxes.
Yeah, 3XM folio boxes are good at yeah. I think we did 4 last week. Oh yeah. So a lot by we do printed books.
Yeah.
Printed books are a big sale. We do all that.
The starting point is printed book.
Yeah.
So I mean, they can have a single print, a single photograph. Most don't. It's either printed book. Then it's a like a reveal box, and then it's wall art. So it's
real mix, really.
Yeah, at the minute it's mostly wall art, and then reveal books, and then reveal boxes. Sorry, then printed albums, printed books.
So can I talk about wall art? Because I've tried to persuade my wife to go and do a boudoir shoot or that type of shoot, and absolutely resist it. Even if it was in an album she could put away, right? But wall art with boudoir, where would they hang it? Is it for themselves in their bedroom, or is it something they put in the sitting room?
Yeah, I think most is in bedrooms. Yeah,
I think
we have had some in living rooms.
yeah, it's anywhere really.
Yeah.
I think everyone comes with that assumption that I'm not going to put the, why on earth would I want this in my living room? Until they come into the experience, and then they kind of have that emotional connection with those images, and then they want to see them every day, and they don't want to just see them in the bedroom. They might not have space in the bedroom, they might want something really big, so then it's in the living room, so it's or the lounge or wherever. So it's one of those things that most people will think that they won't want until they've actually been in, had the experience, realized that actually I do want this. And I don't care what anybody else comes into my house and thinks.
They are pieces that are though, really, aren't they?
Yeah,
So
they
a lot
are.
of times they are shot as silhouettes and they're all backlit. So basically, the girls really don't know you wouldn't know it's them unless, do you know something? They're all a lot of shots of silhouette shots and body shots, and so when they ask on the wall if the neighbours go in, they're just thinking they bought it as a feature thing. They don't realise it's new or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Love it. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I don't think we've any questions, but I can see people have stuck with us the whole way through. You have an amazing business. You obviously are an amazing family with an amazing relationship. So I think you can teach us not just about photography and about business and about marketing and funnels and all that piece, but just, I think you're an inspiration to how a family business can gel together, stay together, work together, make profits together. So thank you so much for joining us, for sharing your story. I know loads of people join us will get inspiration, those who've seen us live, those who will see the replays. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks, Ronan.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's
been really cool. Yeah, it's been good.
Take care, guys. Stay safe and healthy, everybody. And we'll see you on Thursday in the Think Tank when we have Karen Massey joining us. So do join us for that. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
See you later.